This is the Uptick Network Stock Day Podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Penny stock news and interviews from the microcap world. Public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world. With your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, we have a very exciting guest with us. He is back. He's going to be telling us about the update of what he's been doing and how his management team has been helping out and everything. We're talking about Isaac Sutton. He is the CEO of Tarsier company. They trade on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol TAER. Isaac, welcome back to the show.
Good to have me.
You know, we've gotten a lot of listeners since the last time you've been on the show. The show keeps on growing and growing and growing. So give some of the new listeners a little bit about statement of what you guys do and who you are.
Tarsier is a energy solution provider. We're dealing in renewable energy. We're working worldwide on different projects. In December, we acquired 1-800 New York Bulbs, which is an LED provider. LEDs are the new light bulbs that save energy, save maintenance, save replacement costs, and
Absolutely.
Yeah. And by buying 1-800 New York Bulbs, we have inherited their 5,000 customer base, and we're going back over those 5,000 customers that they dealt with over the last 25 years and are upgrading those customers all to LED solutions. So where they were historically doing $3 to $4 million a year, we're expecting a 20% growth rate in that business, and our relationship and our working together has been doing very well so far.
You know, let's talk about 1-800 New York Bulbs acquisition. I know it's kind of working out for you, but let's get down to the metrics, if you would, a little bit. You own 100% of this company. Is that correct?
Correct. Tarsier acquired 100% of the company in December. The existing management has stayed on for the next 3 years. So really nothing has changed at 1-800 Bulbs, except that we are a 100% owner, and we're helping them expand their product line and their customer base.
And those revenues will fall onto your balance sheet here in 2017, correct?
Yes,
and
that is correct.
And so when do you think you'll get everything up to date on the reporting and everything? Can you give us some sort of timeline on that?
We're right now at the end of mid-April. So by the end of May, we should be pretty much caught up on all our reporting and all our Qs and Ks that are due. And at that time, basically, the stop sign on OTC should be off our symbol.
Why did Tarsier buy 1-800 New York Bulbs?
We've been trying to acquire 1-800 New York Bulbs to get some sort of a foothold here in the New York market. 1-800 New York Bulbs is a GE distributor. They've been around for 25 years. They have a great name. And basically, it opens the door for us to, like I said, they have 5,000 customers historically, and all those customers must change to LED. LED is a new technology. It saves money. It saves energy. And because the old bulbs don't exist anymore, it's just a natural progression that all 5,000 customers are going to need LED. And as a renewable company, the LED lighting is your low-hanging fruit. And basically, focused on low-hanging fruit and getting sales through the door, we felt that 1-800 strategically is a great acquisition for Tarsier.
Our guest today is Isaac Sutton. He is the CEO of Tarsier. They trade on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol TAER. Their market cap's around $2.1 million. Their stock is trading at a little bit above 4 cents a share. What were your revenues in 2016? Can you tell us that?
We were about $500,000 revenue, predominantly from some software that we did in energy management, and we're revamping that software to a different marketplace, which we'll be announcing shortly. But in addition, right now we've been focusing on streetlights, LED streetlights, and most cities around the world require new streetlights. Again, as I said, the LEDs save energy, save maintenance, save replacement costs, and every city in the world is now looking, even New York City, is looking to replace those lights. And we've come up with a unique program to help those cities finance the new lights. And we're working what's so-called a PPP, a public-private partnership program, whereby we would front the costs of installing new lights for the whole city with controls.
Wow.
And basically partner with that city for the next 10 years on the amount that they're saving. So therefore, there's nothing really out of pocket for those cities, and they're paying us from the savings. And to give you an example, we're working on 20,000 streetlights in Dominican Republic, a city in Dominican Republic. There's 20,000 streetlights. It'll cost us about $5 million, but the actual savings of the energy, the replacement cost, and the maintenance cost is over $1.5 million a year. We work on sharing that $1.5 million with them for the next 10 years. So it's a big home run for everybody. It's a great for the city because they could save energy and they make money from the savings, and they can invest that money in other projects. It's good for Tarsier because obviously we make money and we generate the revenues, and it's good for the environment because we're putting in LEDs and we lower the carbon dioxide emissions, and basically it's great all around. And they now have lights for the next 10 years that are environment friendly, energy friendly, and there are countries and cities around the world. I was in Kazakhstan last week, and we're working a similar project in Kazakhstan. We have requests from everywhere from Africa to Brazil to the Middle East that are looking to participate on some sort of a project like that.
You know, speaking of projects, that's just one project. Do you have any other different new projects that you guys are currently working on?
Well, you know, the streetlight program that we're working on, PPP, is pretty, let's say, extensive at the moment. You know, obviously, the development of new streetlights is always important because that's technology. Right now, we're working with a company based in Korea that has a modified new streetlight that is kind of, let's say, cutting edge, and it has Wi-Fi built in. So that's Wi-Fi for the lights, and that enables the lights to be part of a network. And once the lights become part of a network, we are now focusing on the smart city technology. So in terms of streetlights, we feel it's the ground for our smart city technologies.
Absolutely. Can we get back to what we were talking earlier about the metrics? I believe that you said that you guys, on 2016, you'll finish up with around 500,000 in revenues. Is that correct to say?
Correct.
Okay. And then 2017, here comes the revenues of 1-800 New York bulbs. Obviously, the revenues are going to be a lot more than that in 2017, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So
we should end up, you know, just with 1-800 New York bulbs, we should end up with $4 or $5 million in revenue just in the LED lights. And if any one of these bigger projects that I'm working on overseas, that would be also additional revenue.
How do any of these projects that we just mentioned relate to smart city technology?
Well, once you build a network of streetlights, and with the new technology, we connect the streetlights through wireless connectivity, we're now creating a network. And once you have a network and we're able to turn the lights on, turn the lights off from a central location, we're also able to put in sensors on these lights and now make the city smarter. What does it mean to make the city smarter? The idea of being able to collect data and be able to provide that data in real time to the city so that they can react is what makes the city smarter. It's one of the components of smart city technology. So by being able to have a network of streetlights, let's say 20,000, and to be able to put sensors on those streetlights and to monitor the traffic and to be able to take that information and provide it to city officials, that they can react either for being able to manage the traffic in a more orderly manner, or to reroute the traffic in case there's an accident, or in order to move in emergency vehicles. Having that information available to them in real time makes the city more efficient. And by putting in the streetlights, gives us the ability to create that network and to build upon that network. So we see that the streetlights, implementing streetlights, is the first step in smart city technology.
Is there any other companies that are your competitors that have this smart city technology?
Yes, several of the major companies, whether it's Cisco or IBM, or even everybody is focused on smart city technologies. Everybody is doing it a little bit different. There's no standard yet in the marketplace. But what has been a given is that by implementing streetlights, which is not a cost, but it's a cost savings.
Absolutely.
Gives us the ability to move into cities quicker. And by utilizing the streetlight poles and the network, definitely there's an agreement between everybody that that's the quickest and the best way to move into a city and to make it smart and more efficient. So, like I said, there are major companies looking at it, and obviously it's like creating a network. Your Apple phone is a network, and there are a lot of apps that are built on top of the Apple phone. We see the streetlights being the network, and there'll be a lot of apps and applications built upon the streetlight network, and there's a lot of companies that are focused on that in the future.
My guest today is Isaac Sutton. What we've learned today is that the revenues will finish up around $500,000 in 2016. Isaac says we'll do millions and millions of dollars in revenues in 2017. Looking forward to that. Their float is only 2 million shares. The company that we're highlighting today is Tarsier. They trade on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol TAER. In closing, Isaac, is there anything that you would like to get out to my listeners that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Pretty much, obviously the key here is get the company back to full reporting, which we will get done by the end of May. Our focus is renewable energy, and again, being able to work worldwide gives Tarsier a big advantage. And some of the big projects are several figures, and they don't happen overnight. All I could say is that these big projects don't happen in 30, 60. They take years to develop, and we have a lot of seeds in the ground, and hopefully one of these or two of these will break within the next 60 to 90 days.
I'm sure they will. I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. I wish you nothing but continued success. It sounds like you guys have turned the corner. Congratulations on the new M&A.
Thank you.
On the 1-800 New York bulbs. And again, don't be a stranger to the show.
Thank you, Everett. Thanks for having me.
The following program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire LLC, which is responsible for the following content. The opinions and information provided on today's show are those of the guests and of those of the respective companies they represent, and does not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of this station. Uptick Network encourages all listeners of the show to do their own due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that'll work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of today's show may have paid to appear on the show and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Network or this station.